Hey, what's up? Well, it's been quite a while since my last video, almost 2 years. Of course, we've been in this pandemic situation for about the same time, and it's been kind of tough to get inspiration to shoot a video, staying at home so much. But that changed because it had been almost 2 years since my last cruise, and that changed last week. And I did something I've never done before, and I'll tell you more about it right away. Hey, what's up? I'm Chris from the Fantiniastic channel. Thanks for checking out my video today. It all has to do with my recent cruise on Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas. Short 4-day Bahamian Caribbean cruise. It was a lot of fun. 2 years since my last cruise. So happy to be back on a ship. And this video is not going to be like a ship tour or a review of the cruise itself. I think there are YouTubers out there who can do a much better job of that. Some of the ones I love is Cruise with Ben and David. Love those two, they're great. Family Vacations with Dawn, and Tips for Travelers with Gary Bembridge. I'll link those in the description if you want to check those out. Great resources for cruising. So this video is more about something that I've never done before and always thought about doing, which is solo cruising. I was always worried that I would be lonely or bored. There's just like an apprehension or anxiety about going on a cruise by myself. But with the pandemic, it's just impossible to get your friends together to go on a cruise. So I just couldn't wait anymore. It's been, like I said, 2 years since I cruised. So I just pulled the trigger and decided to go for it. So this is kind of like my impressions on solo cruising, tips and tricks if you're thinking about solo cruising to get the best deal and kind of set yourself up for success. And then finally at the end, I'll let you know whether it's something that I'll actually do again or not. All right, so if you're like me, the first thing you're going to think about is price. I'm a Winnipeg kid, and we love a bargain in Winnipeg. Anybody from there will tell you that. So try to get the best price. So if you're solo cruising, the one thing you need to consider is that when you see those prices on all the websites, that's based on double occupancy. And a lot of cruise lines won't give you a break on that, meaning if it says it's $500 for a cruise and you're booking by yourself, they're going to charge you for two people. So that ends up being quite expensive, $1,000, right? One of the cruise lines that I always check first is Norwegian, because Norwegian was one of the first cruise lines to really consider the solo cruiser. So they have on many of their ships solo cabins. They're called studios, and they're exclusively for solo cruisers, and they're at quite a discount. So you won't get that double occupancy price. You'll probably get, something that is 10 or 20% more than that double occupancy price for one person. But still, good deal. And the solo cruise areas, they also have like a little separate place with a bar and a place to eat and a breakfast area that only solo cruisers can go in. So it's meant to really get all the solo cruisers together, which is really cool. So if you're by yourself, you can make some friends, people who are solo cruisers too, so you can go on excursions together, check out the ship together and all that fun stuff. However, don't ignore the other cruise lines, because recently some of the other cruise lines, although they don't necessarily have those solo areas, they are offering nice discounts on people who are cruising by themselves. Case in point, the Freedom of the Seas, the one I was just on, they were offering like 60% off second guest, which they actually did the calculation for solo cruisers, which is surprising because they don't always do that. They'll just take 60% off the second guest. So I ended up getting a really good price on the Freedom of the Seas, all in with port taxes and fees. Ended up being, I think it was $340 for a 4-day, which is a really good deal for a solo cruiser. So definitely do your shopping when we're talking about solo cruising. So I also highly recommend keep checking the prices even after you book. Whether you've booked like 6 months in advance, a year in advance, or even just a few weeks in advance, it's really worth your while to keep checking the cruise that you booked and run through the booking all the way to the end to see what the price ends up being. And if it ends up being less, you're going to get that back. Now, if you haven't made your final payment yet, you'll get that back as kind of a refund on your cruise fare. If you've made your final payment already, they will give you that as an onboard credit. So you can spend that at the spa, at the casino, at specialty dining, at the stores and shops. So it's definitely worth you doing that. Also, check all the extra things you've booked, like if you booked a beverage package, or if you've booked excursions or anything, especially dining packages, Wi-Fi, because sometimes they'll put those on sale as well. And you can, again, cancel those directly and then rebook them at the lower price. That's an instant thing, and you'll get a refund. You'll get that credit back for what you already paid for, and then you'll be charged that lower amount to your credit card or your method of payment. So definitely something to look at. Finally, you will get an email if the ship isn't fully booked, if it's below what they want to have as a booking. Now keep in mind, with the pandemic, they aren't booking at 100% right now, and depending on what cruise line you're cruising on, it could be higher or lower. Carnival is booking higher. I think they're booking at 70 or 80% of capacity. Norwegian is booking, I think, around 60, and I think Royal's the lowest that I know of. They're around 40 or 50% right now. At any rate, if they're booked below what they want to sail with, they're going to offer you upgrades, and it'll be an email, and you can bid on the class you want to upgrade. So you can upgrade from interior to balcony, you can upgrade to suites, and you can use the slider they have on their app, and you can either go low ball or you can book higher, and then if you win that, you get upgraded. Now, the issue I had with Norwegian is I went to do that because I was thinking about booking a spa balcony, which gets you into all the spa stuff. But they were doing that only at double occupancy. So even though I could have, put in a bid for $125 to upgrade to a balcony suite, that would have been per person based on double occupancy. So it would have ended up being like $250, and I didn't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is when I get on board, I'm going to go to the customer service desk, and I'm going to say, hey, do you guys have any upgrades? And I'll explain, I'm a solo cruiser, so I was looking for something based on solo occupancy. I don't know if that's going to work on my next cruise, but I'm going to try it. And then when I post that cruise on that experience, I'll let you know how that worked. But something to try for sure. You're ready to go. You've got your excursions booked, your drink package, your Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. Now you're going to want to do some advanced scouting as a solo cruiser. The best way to do this is to learn about the ship, and also try to meet some people before you even get on the ship. Get yourself a leg up. So you can do that by going onto Facebook and searching for groups that have the cruise line, the ship you're on, and the date you're cruising. Oftentimes you'll find a group there. You can join that group and start meeting and talking to people who will also be on that cruise with you. Maybe make some friends. Maybe there'll be a sail away party where you can actually meet people first day. It's going to get you ahead of the game instead of taking that time when you're on the ship to try to meet people. Another thing you can do is go on to cruisecritic.com. Great website. Not only is this going to have a lot of forums and boards and information about the ship and the cruise line you're on, but it's also going to have something called roll calls. You look for your roll call based again on the cruise line you're on, the ship you're on, and the date. You join that roll call, and this one is almost always successful in terms of having quite a few people on that roll call who are cruising with you. They'll let you know about things like, cruise transfers, what they're doing before and after the cruise, and then of course a chance to just meet them and hopefully set up like a sail away party, or just getting to know people so that you have that leg up before you even get on the ship. So the last and maybe most important thing you have to do is just like put yourself out there. For me, that's the biggest anxiety builder, or it was for this very first experience. People who know me think, well, Chris, you were on the radio for 18 years. You seem to be very outgoing in public. This should be super easy for you. And the interesting thing about people who seem to be extroverted is a lot of times they're introverted, and I'm a bit of an introvert, to be honest with you. I usually keep to myself. I'm one of those people who hate the thought of meeting people and doing things until I'm actually meeting people and doing things, and then I end up liking it. So little tips and stuff is if you smoke, the smoking section or the vaping section on the ship, there's only a couple of them, so you're going to be kind of forced into that environment with people. That's a great place to strike up a conversation. Smile at people. You will not believe how much just a simple smile when you're walking by somebody, you're in an elevator with somebody, you're standing in a line for something, smile at somebody. If they smile back, that is an open invitation to say, hey, how's it going? Where are you from? Or is this your first cruise? As soon as you do that, you're off to the races. And from there, you can just see if that works and if you click. And then if you do, just say hey, what are your plans for dinner tonight? Are you cruising with somebody, or what's the deal? You might end up having dinner with somebody. You might decide to go to the comedy club together. Maybe you guys both like to gamble, so you could go check out the casino together. It's really awesome. Pre-COVID, they used to do things where you could ask to be sat at these big tables at the main dining room. They're huge tables, 10, 12 people. I've done that before with other friends cruising, where you say I want to be sat at one of these big tables, and you meet people from all over the world, and it's a great environment to break bread with people and really get to know them. So that is the place you're going to win. I have to be honest with you. Even though I did all the previous steps, I was on Cruise Critic, I joined the roll calls, I was on the Facebook group. I didn't end up meeting anybody from those groups. It was a quick cruise. I ended up meeting somebody in the smoking section, and we ended up hanging out a lot together. We went on excursions together, we ate together, we gambled together, we went to events together, and we had a great time. It was very much an enjoyable experience. All right, here we go. The moment you've been waiting for, the conclusion and the answer to the burning question, will I solo cruise again? What was my experience like? Well, in the last part, I did go over a bit about how I met somebody and we ended up hanging out together, and we made some other friends as well. We ended up going to the LGBTQ plus meet nights. They usually have one every night on the ship. Great way to meet people. You know what? Even if you're not gay, if you're just an ally, or you're looking for a group that really likes to have fun, definitely check out these nights, because they're really, really fun. And I met quite a few people that way, which was awesome. Going to the nightclub's a good way to meet people as well. You just dance and drink. What a great way to meet people. Yeah, I would say I had a really, really good time. And the answer to the question, will I solo cruise again? Well, I have already booked another cruise, and I am heading out again. I just decided to go for it. I found an amazing cruise to the Mediterranean. I've always wanted to go to Europe. I've never been to Europe before, and the price was unbelievable. 7-day out of Rome, traveling to places in Italy and Spain. It was $500 single occupancy solo. Like, sorry, you can't beat that price. And with Norwegian, not only do you get that, but you get a free drinks package. So you're drinking beer and lower level beverages for free. It also included Wi-Fi, which I did upgrade for $84. And then I also booked 3 excursions, and they were $50 off for each port. So I ended up spending about $120 on 3 excursions. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. I will tell you all about that in an upcoming video. So if you're interested in finding out how that went, make sure you like and subscribe, and you'll be notified when that video posts. Thanks for watching.